Hello and welcome back to the Battle Room. I am the Battle Room, and today I'm joined by Raghav. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm feeling like Dochi the Swamp Princess because it is hot as hell in here. And I don't know if it's the Koraidon or just the weather in LA, but I'm sweating, dude. And I'm ready for this sick showdown between Cedric, friend of the channel, friend of us in real life, and of course the Battle Room himself, Colin third in the world, higher.
It is time. I finally was on stream. It's been a while since I've reviewed my own sets, and you know I had to do it to him. I had to bring my own set to the channel, and I'm excited to break it down here. So I played Cedric, who's also my friend, as Raghav mentioned, and it was really unfortunate. I played three of my friends. I played my college roommate round 1, then I played my coach and fellow builder Alex, who gave me the team round 5, and then round 7 I played Cedric. So I played all of my friends in this tournament. It was super brutal. And I beat them. Well, we'll see what happens here, but I did beat the other two prior to this match. So, yeah, let's talk about the teams a little. Let's break this set down.
Yeah, so I know what you're running because I was also testing it myself, but I honestly don't know the specifics of Cedric's team. I have an idea of, these Koraidon Ice Rider teams running around, but I think the individual sets are really important, especially versus you where you have a Trick Room mode. Mm-hmm. So his Fluttermane does have Taunt, no Protect, and Terra Stellar, which is really interesting.
I like that.
I mean, what was going through your head when you saw this?
Well, when I saw this, I was like, God fucking damn it, right? It's it's kind of mirrorish, right? Because we do have Flutter, Koraidon, Amoonguss. So we have half the same team. But obviously I have Ursa, Luna, and a completely different Restricted and Lunala. And then Incineroar, which is the same typing as GU. So it's very similar type of build. But going into this, I was like, all right, if I get Bear, to set up the win conditions, I need to get Bear going. And I either need to chip Ice Rider so that Bear can one-shot it, or I need to have Lunala next to Bear, which can be kind of hard, especially when I'm staring down GU Flutter. But game 1, I was thinking, all right, Cedric, he's seen some of my games, he's seen some of my practice, but at the same time, I'm like, Trick Room mode's looking mighty sexy here, and as long as I get the Bear going, and I just do it to him, I'll probably win. He's also extremely weak to Spore. That was another thing I noticed. He does have Taunt Flutter, but if Trick Room is cooking, Trick Room's going, then I'm fine. I can just start putting things to sleep. So the Taunt Flutter is annoying. It's my least favorite set to see when I do play my team. So yeah, I was annoyed that he did have Taunt Flutter.
Yeah, as an outsider, I'm thinking the Flutter and GU are my win conditions, as well as your team is also not amazing into Amoonguss. Obviously, you do have Ursaluna with Flame Orb and Incin with Goggles, but I think there's a way. There's a way to. What's up? And Amoonguss, but that means you're dropping a Restricted.
Yeah, which I do like to do.
Now, you used to be the guy who's like, dude, I have 2 Restricted, so why wouldn't I bring them both? Which is a fair line of thinking. But from your perspective, I'm thinking if I get that Flutter Chi in control, either get up a Trick Room or just damage-wise, I am big chillin'. Your Incineroar is able to intimidate his, and your Koraidon's unintimidated, full blast, able to do as much damage as it wants.
It's true, and yeah, it is really nice when you get to run Life Orb Koraidon into no Intimidate. It feels so good. And Incineroar, like you said, is just good in Ice Rider, good into Chi-Yu, good into Flutter, good into Koraidon in a way, great into Amoonguss. It's literally good into all of his Pokemon except for Bolt and his Koraidon, kind of, right? I can't actually just sit in its face and get blasted. So there is that. And I also think Fluttermane Koraidon is pretty good overall into the team if I'm able to, deal with his Fluttermane potentially. And Lunala is pretty good too. It's not. There's no super effective hits really. If I tear.
No, Lunala's amazing in this matchup. I think though we've seen how the mirror can be toxic. We watched the last regional finals, and just leading Flutter Koraidon, whoever wins the speed tie can have a huge advantage. But it is interesting. There are slightly different tools here, and like you mentioned, you have a couple of options. If you can get that Ursaluna in Trick Room, you might also just win. So I see you with that Incin Lunala lead into.
This is my favorite.
There it is, Flutter Koraidon.
I think I led this no joke 90% of the games in the tournament. The only time it failed me was against Wolf, I would argue. He really deconstructed me with this lead. We did actually get to play a Incin Lunala mirror. But yeah, so this time, this lead is looking nice, right? Obviously, I have to worry about Taunt. But if I navigate the Taunt, I'm chilling. There is that mind game, right? If I do actually attack, it's really bad for Cedric. But if he does just Shadow Ball me and I attack, I'm feeling really fucking bad. So I do kind of have to get this turn right.
Yeah, I think this is a tricky one. I would expect you to attack in the face of Taunt, but Cedric's probably thinking, what is my safest option here? Because if you get Trick Room up, he is just fucked.
Yeah, if I do have the bear, right? And he's bringing that Chi-Yu. We get to see all of his Pokemon here. We see Chi-Yu and Raging Bolt. So he's trying to, he's switching right off the bat, switching Koraidon out, wants to get rid of that Intimidate, and he's going for the taunt. It's kind of weird, I'm not going to lie, to commentate over my own game, because I know exactly what happens. But, yes.
I have no clue. But for me, I'm thinking, why did he bring Raging Bolt? But I do like this play, because you get to taunt and then stop the wide guard when your Chi-Yu comes in, and kind of start just going nuke mode from here. And I'm anticipating you to have a big Moongeist here. Okay.
Yep, I do attack. I don't fall for the taunt. I get my free damage, and Fluttermane is down to its sash, which is huge. And this next turn is where the fucking power of U-turn Incineroar. It's stupid. It's so crazy. I literally got DMs on Twitter like, why are you running U-turn? Why aren't you running Parting Shot? But this right here is the reason why. I think U-turn Incineroar is so goated in this format. At least you should always consider it. Because being able to threaten a KO and a switch is just so nice here.
No, it was so important for us Ursaluna users too to not be like stopped by taunt or throat chop or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, breaking the stash also on your way in, on your way out rather, is so important in this format. So yeah, even if you're not AV, I was initially Rocky Helmet on my Ensign, but running U-turn just the same. And Cedric is not in a great spot here because he knows he has to shit out as much damage as possible, but he can't really stop your Ensign from clicking U-turn.
Exactly. I am taunted, but my plan here is simple. Switch out. I literally was like, all right, I'm going to sack Amoonguss. He's going to fucking die. I did have to do this quite a bit during the tournament. It's like, dude, you got to go down, buddy. It's time to die. And as long as I get this U-turn out of here, though, I am chilling here. And I do take
Dude, if he overheated you, though, you were kind of... Oh, you lived on one. Oh my god.
Yeah, dude, Insane. He's so fucking clutch. I'm not even a special defense nature. On that fucking Instant either, so I took that like a champ. He went nuts.
Flutter's could have gotten clapped.
Yeah.
You could have got, this could have been an entirely different game if Instant didn't live on that minuscule amount of HP, get that KO on the Fluttermane, and guess what? Lunala's back in.
Lunala's back in untaunted. Boom. Easy money. And now Incineroar is ready to go. Come back in, help out his awesome restricted friend, and set up the Trick Room. Because now there's nothing he can really do. Now Cedric, at this point, I do have to still worry about the fucking Ice Rider in the back, right? Because I don't know Cedric's last Pokemon here. But I do think it is Ice Rider, as like Ice Rider Koraidon are the remaining two, but we don't know that it's Bolt. And obviously Cedric's just gonna go right back into Bolt here. I took my time there. I don't know why I thought so hard, but Lunala comes in.
Well, sometimes you need to use whatever time is given to you to think about, like, all right, how am I going to manage this end game? You're nervous, you're on stream, you're playing a really attractive man. Sometimes it's really hard to get, you know, your thoughts out. And
yeah,
so
I think Cedric's good.
Yeah, he's really good. Did I not mention that? My bad. He's really good at Pokemon too. And I think for you don't know the fourth Pokemon that Cedric has brought. Fair to assume Calyrex Ice Rider. I'm also surprised by his Raging Bolt bring. But if you don't have Ursaluna, I actually understand why Raging Bolt here is a good bring. But I think you're just in such a good spot, even though Instant's at 1 HP, to just get a fake out Trick Room or a fake out attack. And a Chi-Yu could Terra, but at this point, I think you just always fake out Koraidon and Trick Room. You know it's locked into Heat Wave. And just get your shit going, right?
Yeah, it's up to Ursaluna to carry the game, and knowing that he does have the Raging Bolt, like, obviously from our perspective, is huge, because we know Ursaluna's about to go nuts. And I did opt to not bring one of my restricteds. I did not bring Koraidon, and I feel like that's how my team functioned. I'm going to do a breakdown later this week about my team and, like, my run and how to use it. And I think sometimes you just don't bring Koraidon. I think Amoonguss, Instant, Ursaluna, all of them are better than restricted, right? Restricteds can't spore. Restricteds can't fake out. Like, fuck it. Who needs them?
Yeah, the sneaky little giveaway there, telling us you have Ursaluna, and it makes sense. I mean, I use this team. I helped you practice too a little bit, or at least watched you practice. Bringing those four are just so broken, and it's what I fell in love with too. I obviously ended up going a Miraidon Lunala route, but that's also because like I finally found a restricted that actually like felt bringable with those other three every time. And with Miraidon, you generally don't want Amoonguss, so I was able to bring my two restricteds. But if I didn't have that, I really think Amoonguss is just so good with Pollen Puff next to Lunala, Rage Powder next to Ursaluna. It's one of the best Pokemon in the game.
Yeah, a lot of people, like, I did get DMs as well, asking why I didn't use Brute Bonnet, and like, dude, I think Amoonguss is so fucking good. I think Amoonguss is fantastic, and I think people should still be using this guy. He's still popping off. Also, Cedric here opted to protect Koraidon, and then bring in Bolt, which I think is pretty nuts. He could have got a free Heat Wave and a free KO, but now he's kind of stalling me up, right? Like, I'm sitting here like, fuck, dude. Like, my Bear's not in. I can't reliably bring my Bear in because he can easily just CC that slot. So it is a little bit of a trickier, awkward situation, right, that I have to navigate here.
Yeah, I think his plan is probably trying to get a KO on your Lunala, break the shield with the Bolt, and just like blitz it. But I also think the pressure is on, and he didn't have a fully fledged out idea of what he needs to do to win the game, because I think you've just put him in an awkward spot. He could have switched the Koraidon out too, or just not protected to have it available this turn. Right now, I think his only out is to double that Lunala slot.
Yeah, I mean, I liked his play. Like, I think it was pretty good of just stalling that turn because the Bear onslaught is not here yet, which I think is pretty clutch. But now he's opting to press Terra Fire, and so now he's 3 Pokemon weak to Earthquake, right? Like, Ursaluna's about to go fucking nuts. All of them are almost in range, right? 2 in EQ. So, as long as I get a little bit of damage on the Bolt, he's going down to EQ, and now Koraidon's in range, which I get this knockoff off. Do I Moonblast the Bolt here? I think I do, because I think I need a little bit of damage.
Literally any damage onto the Raging Bolt, and everything should be in EQ range. You actually don't do it. I think you're probably thinking this Raging Bolt is 0 threat to me.
Yeah, I really.
And that puts it in Blitz recoil range.
Yeah, so now he's dead, and now it's up to Ursaluna to win the game here. Oh no, Lunala lived? Holy shit, what a goat!
Knocking off that life orb was huge.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. I was very bulky Lunala. There was no reason for anything but damage and bulk here. I had no speed. I don't need speed. Now Lunala's slowly starting to heal up with his leftovers, trying.
Yeah, and the best part is, even if you went down there, Cedric has 2 Pokemon that cannot protect.
Exactly.
So you have more than 1 turn of Trick Room left. You can protect, get your Flame Orb, click a EQ, and just the game ends, you know? And I think Raging Bolt should go down to 1 EQ, but it's not a huge deal. If it didn't, you just attack the turn before, and it should be fine.
And also here, Cedric is still in an awkward spot because I am able to freely just press Moonblast knockoff into Raging Bolt, and there's nothing he can do. He can't stop both of them, right? She used Scarfed, so I'm always getting 1 hit off, which is exactly what I need. There's 3 turns of Trick Room as well. We just saw Cedric check. So I do have that option of just freely protecting Ursaluna, getting the Flame Orb proc, and then just going nuts with the Bear.
Yeah, and Cedric thinking at this point, hey, if he has Koraidon, I can still win this game. But he doesn't know that the Bear is actually your secret restricted.
It's kind of funny that it is just such a long build-up here to the reveal of my last Pokemon, because like I never found an opportunity to bring it in at any earlier point. So I was like, fuck, dude, we're just kind of sitting there, right? Like the Bear really wants to come in, but it just can't switch into these moves. Now I could have brought it in that turn if I really wanted to, but at this point there's no risk, no need to throw the game. I remember specifically in this turn, I like checked the amount of Trick Room turns like 3 times. I'm like, all right. I looked at the sheet like 3 times. I'm like, all right, he doesn't have Protect. All I have to do is Protect and EQ, and I win. But I just didn't want to fuck it up because I was like, dude, I do not want to fuck up this fucking 6-0. I need to win the set to go strong into day 2. So I was like, please don't mess it up. Please don't throw this game, because I felt like I really worked hard for this one, and I wanted the free turn or game 1.
No, you did everything right. I mean, when you're up, it's your job to make sure you don't lose the advantage. And switching in a Ursaluna early could have been really bad. Like if he just clicked Heat Wave, you probably would have died to it in Sun. So yeah. I think you made the correct play, just waiting for the right time to bring it in, unharmed. He's just touching the stove a little, getting burned, and then he's making the earth shake. It's done, dude. It's game 2.
It's game 2, and now he's ready to go. He's burned. I still have Terra, by the way. I could have ripped a nasty Terra Ghost here just for fun. I probably should have, honestly. That would have been a pretty sick way to end the game.
And then just get clap crit.
Yeah, I think, you know, dude, honestly.
Oh, I thought he was going to go for it on Ursaluna.
I think he should have, just in case. He should know that I potentially am a cocky player and I could do such a thing. But the EQ is going to go off.
Cedric does know you very well.
Yeah, the EQ is going to go off, Chi-Yu's down, Raging Bolt's down. And honestly, after this game 1, I was thinking, holy fuck, thank God he brought Raging Bolt. Because I think if it was Ice Rider, it would have been really shaky and it would not have went as well as I wanted it to.
I see you shaking your head, smiling, right behind the Amoonguss Turtwig love.
The Amoonguss, I had to bring him out, even though it's like the worst The worst plushie. And my girlfriend did give me the Turtwig, so he's got to represent as well.
No, they definitely are cutie pies. I love grass types, and honestly, you dominated that one. And Amoonguss Ursaluna was definitely the correct last two to bring. I'm curious to see how Cedric adjusts because I said in the beginning I didn't like the Bolt bring. It only made sense if you didn't bring your Ursaluna, but the mode you brought makes just so much sense. And you played around that taunt well enough. I mean, Amoonguss was needed to get the free switch back in, right? So I'm trying to think what Cedric can do differently. I think his Amoonguss is bringable for sure, but I also think just leading Flutter Chi-Yu or Flutter... I don't know. I'm trying to remember. What was his sixth Pokemon again? It is Amoonguss and then Ice Rider.
Ice Rider, yeah, he's restricted.
Yeah, Ice Rider is bringable. I think something people underestimate is the power of clicking Lance in front of Wide Guard. Like, forcing them to press Wide Guard or just catching them on a turn they don't do it because they have to click Trick Room. And it's just really hard for you to pivot any of your Pokemon in without clicking Wide Guard.
I also think like Ice Rider would have made that game a lot harder instead of Bolt because the Trick Room mode wouldn't have been as safe for me and I would have had to navigate around the Ice Rider. But I do think I had enough HP on Lunala to like clutch it up if it was Ice Rider. But now in game 2, I'm going to lead the same thing, obviously, right? Instant Lunala once again, and he's going to go with Flutter Chi this time.
Okay, as I predicted, and I think it is the better lead. At this time, is he pressing taunt again, or is he just attacking? Because I think he saw how bad it went that first time clicking taunt. Too passive. If you just get it right, I think he's gonna play more aggressively. He's down a game, and he really wants to get this 7-0 going into day 2.
It's huge.
I'm thinking he just attacks. I think he just attacks this time.
And I think, like, obviously targeting down Incin here is pretty valuable for him. I think Incin is really good into his team, and, like, if I have Incineroar and I'm able to pivot him, like, it's just giving me so much momentum. Incineroar, he's the fucking GOAT for a reason, and every time I use him, I remember that. I'm honored to be in his presence once again, because he is just fucking nuts at this game.
No, I'm addicted to using him, even when he's not necessarily essential to a team. But what's going through your head? Are you thinking he's clicking taunt or not?
Well, so here's the deal. In this game, I don't give a fuck what he's doing because my plan is extremely simple. I want to kill the fucking Fluttermane, and that's all I want to do because this time I didn't bring Ursaluna Amoonguss in the back. I brought Koraidon Fluttermane. This was my favorite bluff throughout the tournament. Game 1, I would Trick Room them almost every single time because it was just so good and I was so comfortable playing that way. Game 2, I really like to lead the same thing because they can't just let me Trick Room, right? So they have to go on the offensive. They have to give me free damage. And so oftentimes I would just do stuff like this. I just take the Fluttermane, turn 1 with this Moongeist U-turn because my Incineroar clutched it up again. He's living the turn. And I just get a free kill. And now Cedric doesn't have a Fluttermane, but I do. And that's just a huge advantage, right? Like, that's just broken as shit to have a Fluttermane in the Sun Mirror and your opponent doesn't.
No, that's such a good gambit because there's one level where you do one game plan in game 1 and it's Trick Room based and you do the complete opposite game 2, but this one's able to maintain the same leads too and it still functions really, really well with the other two in the back. And like you said, with his Fluttermane gone, you are in the driver's seat. It is still a Flutter Koraidon mirror, but this time you actually have Icy Wind that can work. You have the Moonblast that moves first, and I think you're in a great position here. The only thing is, can you get your Sun in? Can you handle this Chi-Yu? And yeah, can you maintain the speed advantage?
Yeah, because it is this time he did bring Ice Rider, which is a little annoying, but at the same time it's not a huge deal just because like I still can navigate with Lunala, I still have Incineroar, and Koraidon does big damage too. So only one of them can Terra, either Ice Rider Terras or Koraidon Terras. So either way, I can threaten the other one, right? Like if I can force this Koraidon Terra right here, then Ice Rider is infinitely easier to deal with.
No, that's the big thing. He only has one Terra opportunity. Obviously, he has Protect and he's able to pivot, but I think you're putting too much pressure on, and he gave you the speed booster. So if I'm you, I probably just double attack, try and split the damage. But I'm not sure, honestly. That could be opening you up to like just a read, getting flame charged when you double the other slot. See, he goes for Protect and pivot. I imagine this can't go bad for you.
I go for Wide Guard, apparently. And then I think I just fire a Moonblast just to keep him honest, maybe? Nah, Icy Wind, actually. Holy shit, okay. Okay, that was crazy.
Okay, I actually really respect that play because it makes it so Chi does not do any damage that turn, and you're setting up for the speed advantage for your Koraidon in the back.
True, true. But now we have a really awkward turn where he can Terra one of them, and then Fluttermane can hit both of them super effectively. But obviously, most likely, he's kind of got to Terra the Koraidon, right? Because otherwise Fluttermane can outspeed KO it, and he would just die. So my thought process here is it is kind of a 50-50, but the odds are more stacked that he Terra's Koraidon because Ice Rider can still protect. So I was like, I'm calling the Koraidon Terra, and I'm going to Shadow Ball the Ice Rider just to get a big chunk on it because Ice Rider needs to take damage. I need to deal damage to this guy right now because Trick Room could be really bad for me.
No, I really like the play you made too, swapping out Lunala to get not only an Intimidate, but to preserve its health. So next time it's in, it probably lives the Flare Blitz. Even with the Life Orb, I think -1, might be enough just for your Lunala to live. But your logic was really sound. I think he could have protected Ice Rider for sure. But I think the Koraidon was always terrifying, because otherwise it just gets nuked by a Moonblast.
And then also, the big thing here too is like if Trick Room goes up, I'm not like auto losing the game, right? Because I think Ice Rider is really annoying to deal with, and dealing damage to it is just really, really important for me because like I do need to figure out how I'm going to kill this guy. So he does go for the Flare Blitz. Instant goes down, so there's no free boost for Ice Rider, even if he does decide to Glacial here. But spoiler alert, he does press Trick Room.
No, and this is really good for your Lunala to be able to come back in. Koraidon at -1, you have Wide Guard alive. Obviously, I don't think you press Wide Guard here just because, like, you really want to get rid of this Koraidon. But it is still a bit of a tricky situation because I don't think Moongeist necessarily KOs Koraidon. But the huge thing is that you have your Sash up.
That's true. He does have to either he has to double both of them. Like, he can only kill one, and I can always get a KO here onto this this Calyrex whenever I want with Moongeist Beam if I opt to go for it. And then Flutter, yeah, the Sash on Flutter is really nice because if I Wide Guard, he would have to potentially read that and go for a Flare Blitz plus high horsepower on that slot, which would just be really, really bad if I were to press like Protect or something, right? So there's a lot of plays, like he's in kind of a weird spot where he has to predict what I'm doing, but I can kind of do whatever I want. I think I can just fire off a Moongeist Beam and feel relatively safe.
Interesting Protect decision there. I understand your play, especially if you target the Koraidon here. But I think you could have gotten away with just Moongeisting the Calyrex and Shadowballing the Koraidon.
I think that was
because then again, it takes Blitz, Recoil. Oh, and you do target the Ice Rider. So you got the turn right. That could have been really scary if they protected Ice Rider that turn.
True.
But Battle Room difference, you're better. You're in his head. He didn't have a place to sleep if he won, so...
And he is going to Flare Blitz. Yeah, so I definitely probably should have... I should have probably pressed Shadow Ball there. That would have felt real good.
Yeah, because the recoil here is still a lot, and I think with Life Orb and the Blitz one, it's probably just in range for Shadow Ball, or at least the next one, right? So
the big thing here is my thought process too is if Ice Rider's down, I'm probably chilling because at this point he's at -1, so he would have to crit my Koraidon to kill me. So my Koraidon will always live CC. But he can't live CC. So now all I have to do is press Shadow Ball close combat, and he can't win the game. Unless he wins the speed tie and crits me. He needs to do both, right? So I'm like, I think I got this. I think odds are in my favor here to take this dub in the Milwaukee Regionals. Round 7.
I will say at Milwaukee it did happen where the only way I lost was a speed tie and then a crit. And it happened. So I'm glad you won the speed tie.
I did.
Didn't have to risk that. And cleaned it up to 7-0, and that's fucking huge. You go into the next day, minimum 7-1.
Which happened. I did lose to Joe in the final round.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're not going to beat Joe. He's got more subscribers than you.
It's true.
Well, so did Cedric, actually, I think.
They both did. So I did upset the subscriber here, but I didn't upset the subscribers against Joe, or against Wolf, unfortunately. But now Fluttermane picks it up, and that's an easy... clean, crisp duo. That was one of my favorite ways to play the team. I actually think this is a really good set to showcase how I played it. Game 1, Ursaluna them, go crazy. Game 2, try the Koraidon Flutter if you need to. But obviously, some games I would just Trick Room again, and I felt pretty confident just pressing Trick Room and going that Trick Room mode in Game 2 as well.
It totally depends on the matchup, but yeah, I think this was a beautiful showcase of the team. Shows you the strength of how Flutter Koraidon can support Lunala, but also just like the the dominance of Ursaluna this tournament, how good it is in this double restricted format. And the fact that you can literally drop a restricted and actually be in a more advantageous situation because you got your supports and the Trick Room mode.
Yeah, I think what's really cool about this format is I think you can drop your restricted a lot. I don't think you need them every single game. And I think this is a format where we're going to see a lot of dropping restricteds. We saw a decent amount of it on stream already, but I totally expect to see it happen more and more as the format goes on. I just think the power level is not fully, like, it's not 100% necessary to have both of them if the matchup is bad for one of them.
Yeah, and it creates a lot of creativity and team building, which makes me excited for the team report. If you like how this team played and you enjoyed Colin kind of spanking Cedric on live national television, look out for the team report where he's going to give a lot more details and insight on how to use the team, how it was made, and how you came to like it a lot.
Yeah, because honestly, it was a team that at first I didn't like at all. I think I called it bad immediately. But then as time went on...
As you do often.
As I do. But as time went on, I actually really started to love it. And I think it just felt so good in the tournament. Sometimes it was a hard Trick Room team. Sometimes I was just spamming Koraidon Fluttermane, right? It was just so much fun to play in the tour. But yeah, if you want to see more of the team, I'll have a report out on Wednesday. So you look forward to that. Like, comment, subscribe. You know the deal. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. And thank you, Raga, for joining me.
Of course, it was a blast.
It was a blast. Well, we'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Peace.